As gamers, we spend so much time worrying about graphics cards and having top of the range systems, but does it really matter, especially if you're using an old rickety monitor? I mean, can a monitor bottleneck your system? And if so, what could be done about it? Well, today we're going to find out. Let's do this. I wish these files would transfer faster. Come on! Whoa, is that the Viotek 510 NVMe drive with its blistering fast speeds of 3450 megabytes a second read, 3200 megabytes a second write, and capacities of up to 2 terabyte? I can have these files transferred in no time. And if I'm looking for the ultimate performance, I could even get the 4th generation Viotek 520. I better check the link in the description to find out more details. I see comments all the time about people upgrading their gaming PCs, whether it's getting a new CPU or trying to find that illustrious GPU that we've all been craving. But hardly anyone ever really talks about one of the most vital components in your setup: the monitor. It's almost as if the monitor is an afterthought, but it's such a pivotal component. It's literally the thing that you look at day in, day out. And yet I still see tons of people using old TVs or the first generation 30Hz LCD displays that should have been thrown out, frankly, years ago. I mean, I'll level with you. I constantly see people on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and even on our own Discord, link in the description below, with RTX 3070s and high-spec machines, and then they end up pairing it with an old 1080p display, and they're happy with it. And I honestly think it's because, well, they don't know any better. I mean, you likely aren't actually getting the most from your PC, and trust me, that shiny system with that beastly GPU, well, it wants to stretch its legs. So Viotek sent us this, and from a first glance, it seems like it actually ticks most of the boxes. I mean, it's a 29.5 inch ultra-wide 2560 by 1080p monitor, has a 1800 degree curve, and is made for gamers. And while we tend to see that a lot, this one actually is, as it has a lightning fast 200Hz refresh rate, as well as adaptive sync with low frame rate compensation, which of course is compatible with both FreeSync and G-Sync. Basically, you're going to be able to make the most of your GPU, whether it's from AMD or Nvidia. Now, it is worth noting that to get the full 200Hz, you do have to use the DisplayPort 1.2 port, though a HDMI 2.0 and 2 HDMI 1.4 ports are also available on the back of this monitor. But it is kind of worth noting, and you probably have to read the product pages, the refresh rate is limited to 165Hz and 75Hz. Also, if using FreeSync, you're going to be slightly restricted to 180Hz if using the DisplayPort connector, and lower again if using one of the HDMIs. Now, I will also want to appeal to kind of the console peasants, I mean gamers too. This monitor actually has some pretty cool functions for you, like PBP or picture by picture. This allows you to plug it into 3 separate devices, like your PC, Xbox and PlayStation for instance, and have them all on the screen at the same time. I mean, I'm not quite sure why you'd want to, but you can. You can actually set up your main device to take up half the screen and the other 2 sharing the other half, basically giving them a quarter each. Now, we actually tested this briefly, and it does take a second to kind of kick in the first time round, but once it's up and running, it's actually pretty handy. Now, I did say, what's the point of it? Now, I do kind of feel that with a larger resolution monitor, it may make kind of more sense and you'd make more use of this. But I can actually see why a streamer might find it handy, being able to see kind of everything on one screen. Now, on top of this, it does also have PIP, or picture in picture. Now, this is kind of an old school TV feature, but it basically means you can overlay your Twitch chat, for instance. Again, making it perfect for streamers. Now, I'm not saying people are going to go buy a monitor like this for these features, but I don't know, they're kind of nice to have depending on your use, and especially if you only have room for a single monitor. So I mentioned this monitor was made for gamers, and the specs pretty much speak for themselves, but what if you don't have a fancy GPU that can push the extreme resolutions at a high refresh rate? Surely there must be more to it. And there is. This isn't just one of those products that a manufacturer has, well, slapped a gaming logo on because it has RGB. Viotek have added what they call Game Plus crosshairs to give you better accuracy. They've also included FPS and RTS optimizations to help enhance the detail in darker, more shadowy games. And then, to top things off, it also has an enhanced 112% sRGB colour gamut and a 3000:1 contrast ratio, which basically helps to bring the contrast and colours to life. Basically, it means deeper blacks, more vivid reds, and better and brighter whites. So I get it, come on Andy, anyone can read a spec sheet, but What about the quality? I mean, how does it feel? Well, it's easy to get a monitor which on paper ticks all the right boxes, but then it just kind of feels cheap and nasty. But honestly, for the money, I think Viotek have got a nice balance here. There's kind of plastic where there needs to be, and then there's metal in other places. It all does actually feel quite solid, but there is one gripe from me: the stand. I mean, it feels sturdy and the metal base won't be going anywhere anytime soon, trust me. It even has a cable pass-through hole, which is nice and makes cable management a lot easier. But I just wish they wouldn't have gone and put a red insert in the middle of it. I mean, aren't we past the days of where all PC gamer products featured red of some sort? Well, I sure as hell hoped, but it appears not. So what about getting comfortable? Well, the screen itself can be adjusted up or down. It also tilts a small amount and can be rotated. Now, if you're looking to rotate it into portrait mode, you will actually need to tilt the bottom of the monitor all the way out before you rotate it. If you don't, it will just end up hitting your desk and won't fully rotate. I mean, maybe this is an oversight, or maybe it was just designed that way so it's not, even bigger. Either way, you're only really likely to do this once, so it doesn't really matter. Now, I didn't say this at the start, but Viotek aren't exactly the biggest brand on the market, but they do include a pretty decent warranty, and I've got to get this right because there's a lot to it, right? They will replace it even if it has just one dead pixel. Now, when they say dead, they mean dead, and the pixel itself will be black as it's not actually physically lighting up. For those times when your pixels are bright, Viotek will replace the monitor if it has 4 or more of these pixels. Pixels gone dark but still lighting up, Viotek will replace your monitor if you have 6 or more of these. And if you have 5 or more mixed bright or dark pixels, Viotek will again replace the monitor for you. I mean, you can't really say much fairer than that, and I've seen a lot worse from bigger brands on the market. So where do you get one? Well, if you're in the UK, Viotek products come up every now and then on Amazon, but not as frequently as, say, LG, AOC or Samsung. If you're in the US, however, you can bag one for around $320. And I honestly feel like you're getting quite a lot for your money. I mean, you're getting a large 2560 by 1080p display that features PIP and PBP just to start. It also has a decent colour representation and some other handy features specifically for gamers. Those looking to use it as a second monitor will be happy to know it works in both landscape and portrait modes, so it's going to allow you to fit it in with your system the way that you need it to. We've been using it here for quite a few days, and the general consensus is that it's good for what it is, especially if you are a gamer who wants to make the most of their setup. I mean, one thing I do want to praise them for is that they haven't just used kind of the gamer name for no reason, just by, adding RGB or whatever. They actually have included quite a few features that are specific to gamers' needs. So there you have it. I mean, let me know what you guys think. If you're looking for a monitor that is specifically made for gaming, does this kind of tick all the right boxes for you, or do you still crave more? I don't think you're going to get much better for the same money, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. Either way, let me know what you think in the comments section below. And as always, if you like this video, you know exactly what to do, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.